you cut me too deep. I think I'm dying here, man.
Welcome to the 3B Video Deep Cut Podcast.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
Aw, yeah, it's that time again for another bi-weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and
Evil Dead Inc. And Raj, did Michael kill again?
Did he kill again? I'm not sure, but I think Evil dies tonight.
It dies tonight? Oh man, it's taken a really long time for Evil to die tonight.
It really has. It's a long Halloween night in 2018.
I wonder if that'll be anyone's tattoo at some point. Like, give this movie enough time to be, like, classic status, so give it another 20 years, and then see by literally 2040 if someone that has an Evil Dies Tonight tattoo.
I wouldn't put it past people right now.
I mean, I at one point was really considering having a tattoo for Halloween that was going to be like capitalized END, end, but it was going to be Evil Never Dies.
Ah, nice.
Long before we even got Halloween 2018, let alone Halloween Kills. So that'd have been cool if I actually would have pulled the trigger and got that done.
Yes. So do you want to give the good folks out there in internet land a brief plot synopsis of this film, and then we can just dive right in?
Halloween Kills is more of the night he came back home. I'm pretty sure we've done this. That's happened already before, but okay. It's more of the night he came home. And
yeah,
Evil probably doesn't die tonight, even though it's pretty much the mantra of the film.
Yeah. Well, not until the grosses go down, buddy.
Even then it doesn't. Halloween 5 is the exception to that rule. The other Halloween 2 is the exception to that rule.
There's a lot of exceptions to that rule in this franchise.
The only guarantee in the Halloween franchise is there are no guarantees.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we get some real amped up slasher movie kills. We get the return of Dr. Loomis, sort of. But I mean, in my, and I would think your opinion, the best Loomis impersonation we've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head for the people who aren't watching this.
We've not got the Oddity Video podcast versions up streaming yet, but the audio versions that you're listening to, yes, he's very much nodding his head. Mm-hmm. And this movie ends with, I mean, how would you describe how this movie ends? Because we know now how the third movie of this trilogy takes off, but this one ends with like, okay, Michael is almost killed, gets like a good last hit in on the Strodes, and then it's like, all right, what's the next move? What happens next? Is the next movie gonna be more of this night, or what's gonna happen? Because it ends on a good cliffhangery note of Michael's about got his ass kicked. Kills Laurie's daughter and half the town in a quick montage. And Michael is pretty much summed up as being like a force of nature, like of legend, beyond human.
Yeah, and I always like, this is where I go back and forth, because I remember when this movie came out, people were like, dude, he's supernatural. And I said, no, that whole end monologue is basically telling you the more stock you put into his name, the bigger the legend is. Like, you're afraid. The more you're afraid, the more power he has. Very Freddy Krueger-esque, but like that's kind of what they're doing. Like, this town is creating this legend. You know, like he like let's say he killed 15 people in that mob. By the time Halloween comes around, it's like, well, he killed half the town. Or, well, he killed the whole town. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a really fucked up game of telephone of like how like dangerous he really is. And this is where I backpedal on my own beliefs, because I'm like, I like that he's just a normal dude, but I don't like how they handle it in the next entry. But like in this movie, the fear is full blown. You know, the whole town is terrified. They're seeing him everywhere. They're you know, vigilante justice all over the place. This movie gets a bad rap online. A lot of people really rip on...
Wait, what?
They really rip on all those aspects. But this is a very fun movie that you and I are both very much... Our feet are planted in the sand, I think. Like, yeah, this is pretty fucking solid.
Yeah, we did a live show on this pretty close after it was officially released. And this was a big... I'm sure it's happened for other cinema, but I can't think of it because it doesn't apply to like our spectrum of cinema. But this was the first movie for us that was nearing the end of the pandemic time frame. Mm-hmm. We weren't at the theater yet, but you could go to the theater with a mask on, of course, and see this movie. But this was also released same day on Peacock, which... Yep. Was fine for me because I already had that shit, because that's what WWE Network migrated to, was the Peacock Network. So this was the first movie we could watch same day release on a streaming service at home. And I know you was able to
change the game.
Yeah, definitely. You was able to go see it in the theater because, of course, you got the sweet hookup, and you was able to watch it on Peacock later for, you know, to get a better idea of things, because at first viewing is always just the spectacle of the event, and then you start putting the critical eye in on return views at home. I straight up started watching this on Peacock at home because like I knew it was going to be a battle to try to get to the theater anyway, and it's a pain in the ass for me to try to wear a mask and watch a movie because I wear glasses. That shit fogs up, and I got to keep constantly cleaning my glasses so I can see, and it's a pain in the dick. So
I will preface this for the listeners who don't know us on a personal level or follow our YouTube channel. When this movie, like, we were so stoked for this movie to come out, and I was like counting the days till I could go see it. Lo and behold, I get COVID, and I got it fucking bad, like really bad, and I was like, I'm gonna die. Like, I'm pretty fucking sure I'm gonna die.
Roger dies tonight.
Yeah, I was. It was looking grim there for a hot minute, and luckily, like, as stubborn as I am, I'm like, I am not gonna miss seeing this in the theater. And so, my wife's best friend, who owns the theater, literally just dropped off the key to my wife and, like, go in at midnight, no one's there. We took fucking, like, hand sanitizer, we took Lysol, we took a fucking dehumidifier, like, we took all this shit into the theater, and I sat there with a blanket, curled up, with a mask on, like, 5 seats away from my wife, just so I could watch this fucking movie. And she hated it. And I was like, that was awesome. Like, if I fall asleep tonight and die, at least I got to see Halloween Kills. So even through COVID, I was like, I'm seeing this. No matter what.
And I was just like, oh, well, at least I don't have to wait for disc. Now I can just watch it streaming at home. Mm-hmm. Literally, Halloween 2018 was the last movie, and still to this day is the last movie I've seen in a theater that was brand new. I've been to the drive-in every year since for retro movie nights, but I've not seen a new movie in a theater setting since Halloween 2018.
God damn.
And I didn't see it for Kills, and I did the same exact shit when we got to Ends, but it was an interesting, like, it was kind of a fun, exciting thing to have this already ready to go streaming at home. I know that's a complete buzzkill for movie theaters, and that's a death blow thing to say, but I was all right with it, at least for this. I mean,
well,
at the same time, like, it's not like it's the most unsafe of unsafe times. It feels like to be in a crowd of people anymore. So it's like it's more and more like I'm gonna just stay at home and do this.
I'm with you. And I will say this too. Everyone was really worried, and I'm still kind of worried about the death of the theatrical experience, right? Like I am nervous for the longevity of theaters. When we start getting fucking like Nicole Kidman being in theater commercials, like, I like going to the theater. Bitch, no you don't. Like, you have a theater in your house. Like, you don't go to the theater. But like the advent of like same day streaming really kind of put me on my heels. Like, oh no, like movie houses are going to close. Like, we're losing Alamos and stuff all over the place, right? But that was the pandemic, and so I was very nervous. But I will say this: even though Halloween Kills was a same-day Peacock release, it did not hurt it box office-wise in the slightest, which is kind of funny because that's the same argument that is used for Halloween Ends. Is, well, it was on Peacock same day, that's why it didn't make as much money. No, it's just not as good of a movie. Like, it's really hard to, like, Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills are so big and like they deliver the goods, so like it's kind of hard to top that. I feel like Halloween Kills is like, holy fuck, where do you go from here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. And I'm not a super ultra worried about movie theaters. I mean, it may affect smaller ones like locally around here, like the Screenland might be the one that's going to struggle with how things go. But I mean, I have confidence that movie theaters will find this. They'll do the same exact, because I feel this was the same exact worry when cable TV was kind of invented. It's like, well, no one's going to go to the theater anymore. We got to find ways to spice it up. So they'll find ways, and they've already found ways to spice things up to make it an appealing time to go to the theater. The whole 4X experience for movies, although it doesn't apply to every movie, applies to some, and like that will still get people out into the theaters. I will still pay a really high price, rarely, but I will still do it, to go see some wild shit in a theater setup, because they'll just find new ways to entice us to come back in. So it's just going to force their hand to adapt to new means of entertaining us. So I'm not worried about that.
I just feel like it's a weird climate right now with many streaming platforms. So like,
it's the new cable, man. Streaming is the new cable setup. So and we're more and more disconnected. We're not sold on that communal, kind of ritual of being in a room full of, because that's that weird double-edged sword of like, I'm in a room full of people watching this movie, and I'm in a room full of people watching this movie.
Yeah. It's just weird with like, video stores died, and then now we're seeing it when you go to Best Buy. There used to be 7 fucking rows of movies, and now there's like an end cap. Like, physical media is going away, and theaters are threatened as well. And so that's just, old man me, like, oh, I don't like change,
Yeah, because we still think that at some point the internet's going to go down and be down, but we still have our movies at home.
Yeah.
And it's probably more and more reality that the internet's not going to be going down. If it goes down, everything else is going down with it. And the last thing we're going to have to worry about is cinema. But Halloween Kills, though, man.
Yeah.
To backtrack, I feel like that was a big aspect of this movie, though, was how it was released. But once upon being released, first thing that came to my mind when I was done watching it, and I remember messaging you, because I think you of course beat me to the punch, so you're like, see this so I can talk to you about it. And my first things I was sending back to you was, I don't know what it was. After 9/11, any like building destruction I would see in movies post I would just go back to thinking about that, like, oh man, I'm kind of like fucking Tiger King. Like, they're never gonna financially recover from this. Like the long term effects of this building disaster shit, and like the Avengers movies and stuff. Like, this will wreck this city. They'll never get back from this. And I at least was feeling the exact same thing now with this Evil Dies Tonight mob shit. I'm like, I just see January 6th shit all over again. Like, it's my new 9/11 of things I'm seeing paralleled. And I guess what's the weird aspect is this was filmed way before that even came to pass. So Halloween Kills knew the future, or just weird coincidence for me. But I saw that and like, oh, this is my new 9/11. I guess I'm just gonna see this in mob rules type events.
Also, here's the problem, right? Like, people want to watch a 2.5 hour bloodbath, and they don't want to be subverted to the problems we deal with in real life. So when we are kind of mirroring that, like, MAGA world and all that stuff, like,
I mean, yeah, but I feel the same thing. Like when I remember hearing bits like on the Elm Street documentaries. I mean, like, well, technically, when we're in the darkest, worst possible times in actual American culture, is when horror movies seem to thrive the best. Like, they reference, the Reagan era and AIDS, and out of that, we get the stuff we got in the 80s, like Nightmare on Elm Street. So Halloween Kills time frame, we're dealing with like super divided world we live in, on top of a once in that lifetime pandemic thing that is also its own cultural divide. So it's like, well, we kind of are dealing with the darkest of times of shit there. Whereas the movies that are supposed to be reflecting of that's gonna, knock our socks off. And at least for us, we got this.
Yeah. I will say this, though. In 40 years from now, people will still be talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's like social commentary. I don't think they'll be talking about Halloween Kills in its social commentary. Like, it's a very fun popcorn movie for now.
I think it's got some aspects. I think the one aspect that will stretch, that completely kind of gets buried in the next movie, is we were both really like, I remember us both being really like on board with the Street Fighter mentality of Laurie Strode feels wronged. She spent 40 years of her life training for the comeback because she knows Michael one day will come for her. And this movie really gives us the impression that, like, that was the day that changed Laurie Strode's life forever and ruined everything and molded how she would be for the rest of her life. For Michael Myers, it was Tuesday.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck, man.
Yeah, just kill. They kind of bury that when we get to the next one, but at least at the end of this one, that's what the vibe we both left with, being like, yeah, he didn't give a shit about Laurie Strode. Like, she was just there, so he just decided randomly, you.
That's exactly it. Like, I will just kill whoever's in my path, and you just happen to be in my path. And yeah, I don't give two fucks about you. But I do kind of want to talk a little bit about how blown away you and I both were with the 78 flashback stuff.
That's the first thing that pops in my head when you're just like, Halloween Kills, first image is like, oh, those 78 recreations.
The attention to detail is second to none. So much so that there are screen caps online if you go and look. Like where the wallpaper is peeling in the fucking hallway is the same as it was in 1978. Like, they literally recreated wallpaper defects, and like it's so spot on that it transcends fan service. You know what I'm talking about? Like, fan service is like a little wink and a nod, like, haha, see, we didn't forget you. Like, oh, a silver shamrock mask, that's fan service. This is like,
yeah, that's the ham-fisted fan service. This is the devil in the details. This is to put it in our comparisons world. This is the equivalent of if you watch any of our YouTube channel stuff when we were doing the music video thing. We made some music videos of songs from some of our favorite cinemas, and we literally did one for Freddy's Dead with the Johnny Law song, and we did our best to put so many little kind of ham-fisted details in there, and so far still we've not heard anyone reply back of the few hundred views we've got on it that picked up on those. And it's like I feel the entire like production crew and set crew is feeling the exact same way about this. Like, how come no one's talking about that wallpaper? We recreated that shit. It is flawlessly looking the exact same. Everything kind of looks the exact same, and it's even bigger of a holy shit that entire house is on a soundstage.
So good, so good.
Doesn't look or feel at all like it. The moonlighting. It's weird to focus on the moonlighting, but the moon lighting of that outdoor looking set looks so on point.
Yeah. Well, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think the way that they filmed that, they filmed that either with film stock from that era, or they were able to recreate film stock from that era, desaturate the image like Dean Cundy did in the original, and also they used a very specific type of lighting, because you and I are sticklers for that 70s and 80s nighttime lighting, where it's this, everything is lit properly, but there's still this heavy amount of shadows and a blue tinge to the way everything looks. And had they not nailed the way that the lighting is, like, had it been a slicker, let's say like a Halloween Resurrection lighting style, it wouldn't have felt like 1978. But this all feels perfect, down to the hairstyles, to the cars that are parked on the side of the road. Like, everything, like they let no detail be squandered.
No, it gives me hope for a retro Elm Street treatment one day.
Just don't let Blumhouse do it.
I mean, whoever can put it together, put it together. I'll take it. But we talked in the last episode about since this is the Evil Dies Tonight movie, someone that didn't die that we thought died but is still kicking at the opening of this movie, old Officer Hawkins. And we get to see how his history is tied to Michael, how he was on the scene that night, and that kind of builds up that this is going to be a relationship of sorts that's going to sort itself out, hopefully, in the next movie.
Right. Nope.
We'll get there when we get there, but we feel like it's going to. Apparently, Officer Hawkins is tougher than nails, but a terrible shot.
Yeah. You're alive. You're a horrible shot. I was really banking on the fact that we were going to get a Hawkins-Myers showdown. And again, we'll talk about that in 2 weeks. It is what it is. But it is cool that Hawkins survived, even though 2 weeks ago, you'll recall, I said that's bullshit. Because it is bullshit that he survives. But by the time you get to Halloween Kills, after the initial, wait a minute, then you go, all right, it's fine. Because it's Will Patton, and he's awesome. The flip side to that also is, in the previous film, you and I, neither of us, are tremendous fans of Cameron, who is Allison's boyfriend. But by the time we get to him in this movie, he does
mildly, for me,
mildly redeem himself. He's given more scenes and becomes a better person throughout the process of Halloween Kills. The only thing that really bothers me and you already talked about it with the mob mentality, is just how fast this
They get whipped up.
Yeah, they're like, oh nope, everybody, let's go on a fucking murder spree, right? Like, and that's just a mild complaint for me, because if in my opinion, this movie could have been 3.5 hours long, and I probably would still have said, like, I could use a little more.
Yeah.
But like, that's when you can tell things are trimmed down to get the story moving. And that's the only thing that bothers me, is like, can we just breathe? Although we've had a previous movie that also takes place in the same night, but like, we've got to put some air back in these tires and let these characters come to the conclusion that this is the only option. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it happens so fast. It's fine, but I want a little more.
I'm all right with how quickly it kind of develops. Like, it seems logical to me. Like, yeah, this probably would be if this was a real scenario, how quickly things like, it's believable for me. Of all the things, like, yeah, I believe a murderous mob would be to this level of bloodlust and that size that fast, kind of a thing. Totally believable. But we get an interesting list of folks in this movie that, and this is a rarity, especially now, where this is another throwback retro thing, is I feel like they introduce characters with limited time and are able to convey to us enough interest that we're actually invested in what their outcome is. Particularly the older couple that get killed, and Big John and Little John. Like, there are 4 people there that are going to get, almost 4 people we are going to get offed. And we have just so much time with them, but I'm at least actually invested in all 4 of their lives.
They're fantastic characters, and here's where old man grumpy Roger is just gonna kind of step up on my soapbox. Well, you're with me too, you know. The fucking problem is you can't please all the people all the time, and there's nothing you can do that's ever good enough, right? Not anymore. Like, I'm talking about the pacing. When I was talking about the pacing, and I'm like, I could use a little more, but I'm fine with it. And I feel like that's how people should be. But when this movie came out, the amount of, but again, you Halloween toxic fans are
the internet is
terrible.
Period at all today.
Yeah, you're fucking terrible people. The vitriol of, oh my God, of course they had to have an interracial couple, or oh my God, they had to have a gay couple, pisses me off to no end, because neither of those aspects are crammed down your throat. They're just characters living. Yeah, they're just living in this world. And you're so busy focusing on shit like that you're not paying attention to, again, the devil in the details, in the background of certain things. Like Big John and Little John, in their house, if you pay close enough attention, there are realty signs that Big John and Little John are realtors in the town. There are banners around town that if you're not paying attention, you're not seeing. So they're an integral, without spelling it out for you and saying they're realtors, they couldn't sell this house, that's why they live here.
Sounds familiar.
You know, but all you're doing is looking at it and going, gay, they're gay, I don't like gay, like, you know, like, and that drives me fucking nuts so much. So I just had to get up on the soapbox for a second to just say, just watch the fucking movie. And
which I'll tie to that Stop, Look, and Listen. Totally, after this movie, immediately added that to my Halloween music lineup. Fantastic song. Glad I got introduced to it.
All of us did.
Yeah, everybody did. Oh, that was such an awesome fucking scene. But to also tie in with the instant fan backlash, do you remember the other first thing? Like, the first thing that I remember being like, that immediately caught backlash, that it was rumored, at least at one point, they're like, oh, they may go back and trim that or modify that because of people being pissy about it. Luckily they didn't, but that first kind of like bit they released early is the firefighters getting slaughtered by Michael, and people were pissed off.
Yeah,
maybe going back to 9/11 should have been like, you can't kill firefighters. They're heroes.
Yes, you can. They're civil servants. They're toast. That's just how it works. That's how it works in slasher movies, man.
Nobody's safe.
And I think they were all legitimate firefighters. I think they actually brought in.
Yeah, because they're like trying to some RoboCop shit, like respond to this as if it was real, like the doctors in RoboCop, like respond as if this guy really rolled in full of fucking bullet wounds.
Yeah, so that in and of itself is like, okay, so they didn't just bring in actors; they hired the local firefighters to participate in this. So they're paying the local firefighters to do this. Like, it's not like, I don't know, like, I suppose it'd be a little more offensive if it was just actors. I guess. I don't know. I don't understand why it's offensive. Like,
because everything is potentially offensive, and you can't do anything anymore without some aspect somewhere being grouchy about it. Can't have a gay couple. Can't have an interracial couple. Wait, you can't kill firefighters. That's not okay. You can't kill children or whatever. Like, it's always going to be. You can't do anything wrong in anybody's eyes anymore, because somebody will see it and be pissed, and of course they're going to tell us about it. Yeah,
and that's just the internet, my friend.
That's what we're doing right now.
It's true. But yeah, we hardly ever talk bad about movies. Like, we kind of made it a pact early on, like, only talk about the things we love, and occasionally something that we dislike or not both of us
even things we dislike, I'm gonna have fun with how rough it is.
And this movie, in my opinion, not that rough. I mean, there's some stuff with the overuse of The Evil Dies Tonight, which is a joke in and of itself.
I know the wife definitely is like, I could really use, I'm tired of that. But at the same time, like, even though this is kind of like, it's weird, it's the middle of a trilogy, I can pull this one out solo and pop it in and just watch this one, and I'm all right.
Yeah, because it's just dumb fun, and
it is.
Sometimes you don't need. I just want the meat, I don't need the story. I just want to watch some cool visuals. I want to watch Michael Myers killing people, and this movie truly delivers a magnificent body count, a great score, like all those cool flashbacks. Like, this is just fun all around.
Because we still have Carpenter working the score.
Yeah, and his son too, I believe.
Yeah, and the throwback difference, talking about the other Halloween 2 to this one, is this one, the kills are brutal kills, but they're that brutal kills of like, when you react to it, and it's fairly quick, i.e. the light bulb in the neck,
or
scene.
the butcher knife to right under the eyeball,
or the other one I think of is the knife in the armpit.
Oh yeah,
like like they're quick shots, but they're enough there to get that reaction when you watch it.
Popping his fucking eyeballs out of his head too. Oh, yeah. Boy, yeah, some good stuff, dude.
Great stuff.
And also, that's another one of the complaints too, is Little John being played by McDonald. What's his first name?
Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald plays Stewart on Mad TV. So there was like a lot of memes going around, and like, oh my God, why would they cast this guy in this movie? And that's also the problem, right? Is sometimes these comedians, they have to step out of their safe zone, and horror is the best place to do that, because horror is like the dregs, right? So like, if you can step out of being a comedic actor and get to show a little bit of your different skill set.
It's the flip side. It's the flip side of comedy.
Yeah, and it opens up doors for you. So it upsets me when people like immediately like discount his performance because he is a funny guy. Like,
yeah, fuck that shit. If this, I'm pretty sure I have to go back and check the live stream on this, but I'm positive both Big John and Little John would be sharing the Alfredo achievement.
I think we did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
For this movie, because they're fantastic. Especially Big John's like fed up with these fucking kids, and he's taking his jewelry off. Like, oh shit! And he grabs like the butter spreading knife,
like charcuterie knife.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's what he's gonna fuck
is.
shit up with. Is that? And just them telling the kids like stabbed his sister right in the tits.
Gross. Yeah. Also, speaking of those kids, let's not forget Michael off-screen kills one of those kids, and those kids are in danger. And they that's the best part, is those kids are obnoxious preteen little assholes, but they literally act how kids act.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, like they're mocking him, and they have no idea that he is literally coming to kill them. And it's awesome. It's a great sequence. That whole park sequence, with the exception of the only thing that I hate, is the girl who accidentally shoots herself. But I only I only hate that because that's so grounded in reality. Because there's so many people who think they know how to use a firearm and have no idea how to use a firearm.
I like that shot because it's cool, because it's like he kicks the car door just in the way so she's able to shoot herself. Like, it's just it's a quick chain reaction of things. But I like that even insignificant characters you think from the previous movie come back and have a bigger role in this movie. Like, that was just a throwaway scene, kinda, in the previous film with that couple, and they play a bigger role in this movie. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was just cool. Like, it made me think, man, what's going to be coming? It made at least, I'm pretty sure probably for both of us, but it made us re-examine watching this movie before Ends came out. I'm like, geez, what's in this movie that seemed insignificant that we're going to get in the next one?
Yeah, oh yeah. That's part of the genius with this trilogy, and is that it does require repeat viewings. In 2 weeks we'll get to some of the missed opportunities with some of those characters in these previous films, but is what it is. The Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, back to back, married together, are a phenomenal companion films. Just like Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, they really do belong together. It's the best of both worlds. It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? Like, we got everything we need.
Peanut butter on my penis. And we get that. we get to deal with a little bit of like some throwback to the other Halloween 2 of some characters dealing with other characters' death. So the kid on the fence post. Yeah, we get to deal with his mom reaction to finding out that news. We get finally some reaction to the Strodes with Dad died in the last movie. Yeah, we should probably mourn that at least a little bit.
Yeah.
And much like the other Halloween 2, we have Laurie Strode in the hospital again. Although this one's a bit more. This one is another one of those grounded in reality moments of like, I mean, yeah, it's unbelievable she is conscious after having that kind of surgery done same night. But at least she's not doing like insane things that she should not be able to do. Like, she tries that shit and immediately collapses and like, oh yeah, you just had major surgery 3 hours ago. Get your ass back in bed. Yeah, you need to lay down.
Yeah. That part is very grounded in reality, very true to life. So I will say, out of this entire film, the hospital stuff to me is the biggest Debbie Downer of the film. Like, and it's fine. Like, when I'm watching it, like, I'm in that world and I'm okay and I'm ready. Like, I'm just like enjoying the story. But when it's over, and then I have like almost like post movie clarity, post nut clarity is like God, if it didn't have that hospital stuff, that would be like a really fun, like fast-paced banger of a movie. But every time I get to that hospital stuff, it's almost like the wind gets sucked out of me. Like, oh man,
Oh,
they're gonna kill this fucking.
Yeah.
They're gonna kill this guy, and like it's hard to watch, which I suppose is what they're accomplishing, what they were setting out to do is make the audience uncomfortable with mob mentality. So
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, we should take justice into our own hands. We've been wronged and we're angry about it. This is the result of that, like, rash decision to go in that direction. Okay, here's what happens. This is this guy that, who knows what his deal was, why he was in the hospital the way he was, but he decides to take it's the easier of two outs is to just leap off this building than let this mob tear you limb from limb from limb from limb.
Yeah, that's a tough sequence, man. But so speaking of mob mentality, we have spent 40 minutes discussing this film, and we have not talked about Tommy Doyle. I know if you really, really want 2 hours of us going super in depth, check out our live stream on YouTube, on the 3B video YouTube.
It's kind of weird that there's not much in this movie, but there's kind of a lot to try to cram in for a discussion time frame.
Yeah. So, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Anthony Michael Hall. Good enough actor. I just don't think he fills the shoes of Tommy Doyle as well as, say a Paul Rudd. But who does, right? Paul Rudd's the man. But
Paul Rudd would be weird trying to lead a mob.
He'd be like a really nice mob.
Yeah, it'd be like...
We're going to Kinko's.
Yeah, the whole vibe would not be that. I would not be Evil Dies Tonight. It's like,
yeah, no, he would start a neighborhood watch, and they would that's what they would do is they'd make flyers, and they would put up Ring door cams and shit. Like that would be.
Yeah, you get a Ring door cam. You get a Ring door cam. Everybody gets a Ring door cam.
That's right. And if you see something, say something.
Yeah. Call us. They would have that street justice sashes over their
yeah, they just
shoulder.
drive and point at him. Citizens arrest.
Yeah, everyone gets high-end flashlights. That's the whole he opens a all or nothing box and it's just mag lights.
Yeah, you can listen to your music while the lights on, boy.
This thing has a blah 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 luminous battery, good for 46 hours straight of the highest end light humanly possible. Illegal in most countries to get a flashlight this good.
Yeah, that's the Tommy Doyle we deserve. This Tommy Doyle we did discuss in depth.
He's a weird.
Last time we talked about.
He's kind of a weird guy. He goes to the talent show at a bar, and that's
just because he drinks. This is just because it's his watering hole.
Yeah,
he fucking drinks there every day.
But is he hoping to win a competition or anything here? Because they're everyone's doing we have a ventriloquist act up there and shit, and he just goes up and he's like, I'm gonna retell a story about when I nearly had a brush with death when I was a child. I'm sure everyone at this bar has heard this goddamn story while he's, 4 or 5 beers deep, 4 nights a week.
So he is, in that aspect, I like the character, but I don't like the portrayal, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because he plays it he plays it all talk. He plays it like he's gonna take charge of shit. He's gonna fuck shit. He's gonna be Negan with that ball bat. But I feel like I can see it in his
that he's a chicken shit. Yeah.
Yeah, when he's walking up to that car to see what's going on in the back seat of that car, where someone's like, Michael's in that back seat, and he's got it over his shoulder, looking like Negan, like he's gonna go up and bust some shit up. But I feel from him, he's I don't know what the hell I'm doing here.
Yeah. See, in that aspect, yeah, awesome. But Michael Anthony Hall just doesn't fit the bill. But the way the character is written and the nuances of the character, really good. Because you and I, we both know a person like this. Everybody listening knows a person like this. Someone you went to school with who might have had like a minor talent at some form of sport or whatever, and they never left their hometown. They never talk about anything other than the time that they used to be awesome.
Days.
Yeah.
If I just had a time machine, man, I'd be all state.
Yeah, bet you I could throw a football over those mountains. It's a painful person. We all know this person, and to that aspect, the writing and everything of it is really spot on. And like you said, him being like this kind of take charge guy, as long as the crowd's got his back, which is very evident. Like when the crowd is there, oh man, he's all pumped up, gassed up.
He's 10 feet tall, man among men.
Yep, but then, like you said, slowly inching towards that car.
He's like, I'm alone.
Yeah, because the camera's on his face, and you can see his bravado
Just
is only skin deep.
just fall apart in his eyes. Like,
So that I really like, but
yeah, he wants
just
like that vibe of like he wants to run away, but he can't because he's got everyone behind him. Like, you've talked all this shit, now you have to actually back it up somehow.
Tommy Doyle gonna fuck him up.
They're like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck him up.
Yeah. Love lives today, my friends. Yeah.
Oh gosh. And then this movie wraps with the mini mob that just is beating the fuck out of Michael. And I remember that was like one of the first memes I saw is the lady who brings the fucking iron.
The iron? She has her own Facebook page.
Yes, she brings an iron to beat up Michael Myers with. I'm disappointed. Spoiler: we don't get the rest of her story in Halloween Ends. Like, that would have been fantastic. God. That should have been like the mom of the family at the opening of Halloween Ends. Should have been her.
Yeah.
But they beat the absolute shit out of him. You think they kind of play a little bit of some Devil's Rejects vibe there to give Zombie some credit. Like, this is a horrible individual, but you start almost feeling bad a little bit about how much they're just brutally kicking the shit out of him,
murdering him in the middle of the street. Yeah. You should feel bad for something like, yeah. So yeah, they are just beating him to a pulp, which, man, they do the old bait and switch on you too, because yeah, like you said, you start feeling bad for him, and we knew long ahead of time that this was going to be a trilogy. Like, we knew before we even saw Halloween Kills that it was just the meat in the middle of the sandwich. But even though you know that, there is like a brief second where you're like, God damn, they're killing him. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't pull any punches or shy away from the ass beating they're giving him. So like, you're almost lulled into, yeah, he's gonna die.
And then
but then you remember real quick, like, oh no.
And then Michael realizes that real quick too, and then he fucking Hulk Hogan's up. And just,
it's the power of the Hulksters.
Yeah, the power of Hulkamania runs wild. Michael Mania runs wild on the town of Haddonfield.
I bet it was the consolation of the thorn. It appeared that
had to be.
So yeah,
had to be. But that was one other little aspect I wanted to talk about before we delve into next segments is you saying we knew, everybody knew this was the middle of franchise, like guaranteed we're having one more movie, and that was the biggest thing that the wife didn't like about this movie is she left 2018. She's like, I'm in, this is good, and she left, even though she had fun in Kills and still is for the most part enjoys watching Kills, she doesn't like Kills as much because it's the middle of a series. So to her, it's like nothing here matters because it's the middle of things. And I wonder if that's something that kind of has stained the movie for some folks to not like it, because to them, it feels insignificant because nothing can really definitively happen because it's the middle of the story. I don't agree, but
I also don't agree. So I mean, and your wife is a massive Sopranos fan, so tell her just watch the first episode and watch the last episode because nothing that happens in the middle fucking matters. There you go.
And I even asked her,
and it's the middle that's the best part because it's the journey of everything.
And I even asked her, I was like, if we didn't know this was the case, if they didn't have ends planned already, would you like the movie more if you didn't know when or if the next movie was coming? And I think that kind of changed the perception a little bit. I think she was clouded by I know another one's gonna come, so I can't get totally invested in certain things here because they're not gonna necessarily matter come the next movie. But I was like, well, if you didn't know that, would you enjoy the movie more? He's like, I think I would.
Well, and so that's a double-edged sword big time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because even as kids, like let's say when Halloween 6 came out, like every time a Halloween movie ends or a Friday the 13th or a Nightmare on Elm Street, every time one of them ends, like we didn't know for certain we were going to get another one, but we knew. You know what I mean? Like I just know.
I didn't.
You're on like.
I feel like I didn't know. I was like, ooh, I hope they do another one, but I don't know if it'll happen.
Mm-hmm. The only time they ever really, really got me was Freddy's Dead. Because I'm like, oh, well, he's like, it's literally called Freddy's Dead. And it's been a year. It's been another year. It's been another year. We haven't had a movie. And then all of a sudden, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, you let your guard down after like 3-4 years. So you're like, okay, it is over. With this one, like, or I guess, even like Halloween 4, the following year, Halloween 5 came out. And then so Halloween 5, we had a break for fucking 7 years or whatever it was. So, but I mean, like, there's always that, like, is it over though? So
it's never over.
No.
To glimpse into our future Phantasm retrospective. Is it over? No, it's not.
Goddamn right, boy. But yeah, and that's another really good thing about this movie too, is that it does stick the landing, as far as I'm concerned, with the ending.
Oh,
like some movies, they just kind of end on a, okay,
If they never got around to the next one, it would be a fine ending for me. I'd be like, this is all right.
Yeah, well, and it's so open, which we talked about 2 weeks ago, right? We talked about with Halloween 2018, like the way 2018 ends is perfect because it's like, well, he could be dead or he couldn't.
Is the spirit living on? Is it true all he wanted to do was go home and look at his reflection in a window?
Yeah,
I don't
who
know.
knows? And it's the same thing with Halloween Kills because it's like,
it's a mystery.
We get the monologue and we get the death of Karen. And then if you watch the extended cut, Laurie calls Allison's phone and Michael answers and does the breathing. And then Laurie says, I'm coming for you, Michael. And that to me is a better ending than the theatrical ending. But like that ending alone lets you go, okay, Michael's still on the loose and Laurie's going to come for him. But like it could just end and you'd be fine with it. Like, I don't know what happened with this showdown. But we get another movie.
Which has some power because we are always give me the next one, give me the next one, give me the next one. And if we're like, that was it, and we're like, all right.
Yep.
I'll accept it.
I'm good with it, but I'm ready for another one. So.
Well, talk about some folks who were not ready for another one, who were done with this one. Time to look at some of them Amazon 1-star reviews.
Hated it.
Oh. All right, let's jump in here with J.L. Van Diver.
Van
Diver. November 13th, 2022. 1 star. Save your money. Just too much blood and gore in it. Very little Laurie Strode. just didn't like the movie. JMHO.
JMHO.
I believe,
Just my honest opinion. Okay.
or humble opinion. I don't know.
Okay.
Humble, honest. I don't know,
Either one.
just fucking say
Just my
it.
horrible opinion.
Just fucking say it. There's my old man screaming at the fucking sun moment of like, do we have to have an acronym for everything? Can't we just say it? Like it doesn't even make sense. Like I can see that trend taking off when texting was like, yeah, when we had to go through like 4 or 5 different button mashes to get a letter. Like that's when the acronym thing should have taken off. Now we can, in a lightning speed, do entire conversation. We could write a fucking book just with our fingers in no time. So it's like, why are we all of a sudden now we got no patience to write just my humble opinion?
Yeah, we're regressing.
I don't know what the hell it is. I was just like, what the fuck is all this shit? All right.
Bullshit.
Tammy Patton on January 17th, 2022. 1 star. This sucks. Jamie Lee Curtis was terrible. Could not follow who was supposed to be who only good thing was they aged his mask and it was realistic.
Okay.
Do not buy waste of money and time. Jamie Lee needs to retire from horror, and this movie should never have been made. Way past. Disappointed, threw mine away. Worst movie ever. Don't buy. There's a lot there that's hard to read.
Was all just one sentence?
No, there's
run on.
No, there's periods in there, but it's like it's in odd placements, and yeah, there's worst movie ever made. That make no sense.
Nope.
So I feel this was made in haste or hostility. I don't know. L. Marks, January 27th, 2022. 1 star. Awful! Period! Exclamation point.
Just awful.
A real fan of all the Halloween movies, this is without a doubt the worst movie I have ever seen. I didn't think it was possible to make a movie this bad. What were they thinking? Don't waste your time or your money. Pulling weeds would be a better use of your time.
Tweeds.
Smoking them tweeds and everything.
Weeds, Dad. They call them weeds.
Ah,
Tell your daddy comb his hair. We got a bunch of spiders having a meeting on top of his head. Sorry for the random Friday references.
everyone's used to it by now. Like what oddball are they gonna pull on this? Oh, Friday. Wasn't expecting that one. You never are. Baron on October 23rd, 2022.
The Baron?
Baron. The one and only Baron. Baron von Raschke. Red Baron. Could be either one. 1 star. Why would you want an extended cut of this hot piece of garbage? The worst installment of the Halloween franchise, or the worst installment of the Halloween movies ever. I'd rather watch Paul Rudd try to mull him in 6.
Mull him?
Mull him. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Mull him,
All
murder
Paul
him.
Rudd, though. Mull? Like M-A-U-L?
No, M-U-L-L. Mull.
Oh, that's weird.
Like contemplate him? I don't know. I don't know what
you
that's
keep using
supposed
that
to
word. I don't think you know what it means.
It is worst movie ever made. All right, next is R.C. Smith, February 7th, 2022. 1 star. Insane!
In the membrane.
There's some caps in here that are out of like the whole thing is in caps, but some words are just in caps, and I don't get it, so I'll try to read it as this person intended. Glad I rented this before buying. ... Halloween 3, Season of the Witch made more sense than this fantasy movie. ... And Michael Myers wasn't even in it. Really out there. Had potential to be a great had potential to be a good movie, good actors, graphics, and possible storyline. You can't tell me that a whole fire department was wiped out by one guy.
I can.
Sure, they did the honorable thing by fighting and dying one at a time. LOL. Even when they, the townspeople, had him down, they, wait for it, turned their backs thinking it was over. Then he killed all of them. Wow! How did any of these people survive in earlier movies is beyond me. Rating a 0.
0. I did not like this.
I did not like this.
There you go. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Next is Nick. Congrats on
The
getting that.
Nick?
Yeah, Nick Khan. Nick Corey. Could be anyone. On December 12th, 2021, Nick says 1 star. This franchise died tonight.
Ooh, clever.
That's my review, my headline. This was terrible. Poor acting, poor script. / just wanted it to end.
Just wanted Halloween ends, huh?
Yeah, he just wants to end. Now we have LW Addict, October 18th, 2021, 1 star. Hands down. ... I've thought they couldn't get worse. But here we are. The worst and most obvious money grab since the series leaned towards Michael being a dirty.
A dirty.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not a 1 star that's complete thoughts. I don't understand. The title is Hands Down. And then they don't follow up on that and ends on Michael being a dirty, period. And that's how it ends. It's not like click here to see the rest of this review. It's Michael being a dirty, period. That's it.
I need to know what a dirty is.
I want to know why Hands Down.
Hands up. This is a robbery of my 2.5 hours.
Doesn't feel like it, but yeah, it is.
No, it doesn't.
Next is Ron B. October 22nd, 2021. 1 star. Awful. It's so bad. Worst Halloween movie ever. It's more of a comedy. And to round out the 1 stars, I like this one best from Deek017. December 27th, 2021. Evil dies tonight.
I hope that's just all the review.
False advertising.
Oh, got him. I'm going to go review it on Amazon and just put Evil Dies Tonight like 40 times. With
You know, you should, because I was kind of expecting that to be more prevalent in their 1 star reviews than they were.
Yeah.
And they weren't. There's
They did not.
the typical gambit of some people that wanted to just put like their entire review
Like
of
a
the
college
film,
thesis?
yeah,
Yeah.
bit by bit on there. And I'm like, I'm not reading all this bullshit. And like, give me a paragraph at best, some shit
Right.
up for me. But no one really really leaned into the Evil Dies Tonight thing too much. I thought that was good. False
I'll do
advertising.
that for you. I'll do that for you, even though I do like this movie a lot. That's the least appealing aspect to me. Is just it's a lot of script pages. You know.
We did have fun. I did have fun making a ton of memes of Evil Dies Tonight.
Oh God, that'll never stop. That will never stop.
So that was fun. So there's
that's a tradition that will live on.
Yeah, the silver lining of Evil Dies Tonight is it's meme worthy for forevermore.
Absolutely. Well, now that we've ranted and rambled about the movie for a long time, and we've done Amazon 1 star reviews, Evil, what does that mean?
It's time to put on your boots, cue the Motorhead, grab your bottle of Evian water, spew it in the air. It's time to play the game.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. Let him burn, let him burn, let him burn.
Oh, yes, you must. Narfle the Garthok. You must let Michael Myers burn.
No, let him burn.
God damn it. You gotta let it burn, Lemmy says. So, it is time to play the game. And if you're new here,
Welcome.
You're probably scratching your head, asking yourself, what the hell's the game? Well, the game is a deep cut in and of itself where you got to pick a prop from the movie that we're covering, but it can't be a well-known prop. So, since we're covering Halloween kills, not ends, kills. You can't say you want Michael Myers' mask. You can't say you want his coveralls. You can't say you want his butcher knife. Those are all low-hanging fruit. You got to pick a little something outside the box. As Evil likes to say, you got to go deep or
get stabbed in the armpit while you're searching your own house.
Big John, Little John, Big John, Little John. So good. All right, so you'll have to let us know.
Best characters of the entire trilogy here. I'm just going to say it.
They're awesome. I don't give a
money's
fuck
on it.
what the world says.
Yeah, I'm putting it on there.
Yeah, so I always bet on black. I learned that from Wesley Snipes. So let us know your prop picks in the comments on Spotify, on the comments on whatever podcast app, or find us on Discord, YouTube, wherever, Patreon. We're all around. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know.
That'd be my favorite if someone joined our Patreon and told us on Patreon, like, I'm paying y'all money to tell you what my prop is. That would be That would be tits. Not where I want to be stabbed.
So the Patreons, they get the podcasts a week early compared to the general public. So most of the time, our Patreons do comment and say, this is my prop. This is my prop. So very cool. That's probably the only place I've seen comments until I start putting shit on YouTube, which that'll be down the road. But let us know your props.
We'll eventually put these all up on the channel, so you can watch, listen to us.
Yes, it'll
watch,
and it'll bump up our view or our videos on YouTube by
dozens,
like 60
of times,
dozens of views. But woohoo! So I don't know, man. I'm gonna let you go first this week, and then I'll take over in 2 weeks.
I mean, we've already talked about it, and I can't not take it. I want the little like butter knife. What do you call it?
It's a charcuterie knife.
Yeah,
the
charcuterie knife. Yeah, this little bitty knife that's just for spreading jam or butter or something on a party tray. I'm like, that's what I want. I want that shit.
That's good stuff.
Just because it's like, this is fantastic. I want this.
Man, like I think it's more suitable for like lock picking than it is murdering someone. Like, it would take all day to stab someone to death with that thing.
If I had better connotations with it, I'd probably want to grab the Huckleberry ball bat. But for implement weapons, if I'm not going to take the iron, I can't take that lady's one claim to fame. So I'll take the little party knife.
Grab old Huckleberry here, swing it upside your head, and say night night, night night. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, there's plenty of really weird, unique props in this movie. So I think if I'm going to take a prop from this movie, you and I are kind of on the same boat with our Big John, Little John appreciation. Mm-hmm. So there happens to be a park bench out in front of the pub when Tommy Doyle comes out. And on that park bench, the back of it where you would lean your back up against is a banner for Big John and Little John's realty company. So I think I want that bench.
Put it on your porch.
Yeah, I'd just be sitting out there on my Big John, Little John bench.
I'll come out with the little party tray. Like, you want to use the knife from the movie to spread the butter on your cracker here?
Yes.
Is that a metaphor?
No. Or is it? There's a lot of really good gore props in this movie.
I'm kind of surprised. I thought for sure if I had to guess what your prop would have been, it would have been the little drone plane.
Yeah, that's a good one. Part of me wants the mental patient, like his corpse prop, like after he's all splattered, that's really gnarly.
That shit looks like Negan went to town on this body.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like Glenn's fucking noggin splattered all over the ground.
It's gross, man.
It's gross, but it's like, I was like, even saying I was like gross, but I was like, that's impressive looking.
Yeah, it is truly top-notch effects. I think it's K&B, so I think so. You know, why wouldn't it be
It's
amazing?
K&B-esque if it's not.
Yeah, there's so many unique, fun things in this movie, and yeah, I think I got to go with the bench, because it's different. The other thing that comes to mind, since it isn't necessarily a Michael Myers weapon, though he does use it as a weapon, is the big saw that the firefighter has.
Oh, the saw or whatever.
That
the
thing's
Jaws
fucking-
of Life looking thing.
That thing's beast mode.
It looks like the saw blade shooter from Gears of War. When I
It
saw
really
it, I was
does.
like, this looks like the shit that shoots the blades out that I kill grubs with in Gears.
Yeah, this thing is terrifying. So there's plenty of implements of death worthy
Definitely.
of choosing. Plenty of really good gore props. Yeah, lots of odds and ends in this movie. So let us know your props. Like I said, wherever the fuck you can find us. But on that note, Evil, I suppose we should probably get going, because after all, there's a lot of movies out there and somebody's got to watch them. So why not us, right?
Goddamn sleep apnea mask smells like Lucky Strikes when your ma borrowed it.